We'll move on to searches now. Has anybody not signed the register yet? So well, I'm ready. The computer's already there. I've got my drink and everything. Okay. Basically, I'm going to go through all the searches and cover all the enhanced services. Once it's ready, I'll start showing you exactly what I mean. But just to start off, whenever you go into your population manager for your clinical system, you'll see if you click on the CEG domain, all the searches will be there. But you'll also see a whole host of searches, and it gets really confusing. Yeah, I'm going to make it really easy for you. Ignore everything except the two top folders. Yeah, which I hope to show you in a second. The two top folders. One is practice reports. Yeah, and that contains all sorts of extra support for both and this, and you know, these management tools that we've been sending to you, the like AF, RFA, and so forth. And then it contains some searches that we're hosting for the GP Confederation, and it also contains some searches that we're hosting for the medical medication management team. And the second suite of searches is all the long-term conditions one for all the enhanced services, and I really need this support now. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna check. Yeah, maybe I should just close it. Yeah. Where's my? Right. Let's see if I can log on this one. Right. Yeah, this is the one thing I didn't expect to go wrong, all the computing. Okay, so here we are. That's the CEG's domain. And you practice, whenever you look at your practice, it always comes up with something else. You'll see your practice name there, and up here it'll have your practice name. If you want to access the CEG searches, you need to click on one of these buttons here and click on Show More Buttons, and that will lead you to find this, which is City and Hackney Clinical Effectiveness Group. There is another search in there that's called City and Hackney as well, but it's for yeah, I think it's a conflict and so forth. So don't get confused with those. But anyway, these are suites of searches. As I was saying, we've got a whole load of searches in there. The only ones you need to worry about is practice reports and this one, public CCG and public health services. So as I was saying, for this one, you have court support. You've got a few extra searches that you might not find under your normal court contract or your image library. Yeah. So a few extra things that might help you. For example, dementia patients in intensive care. No, what's that? Integrated care. Sorry. Expiring exceptions and osteoporosis and so forth. And then you've got deaf support, learning disabilities reviews. And then this is what I was talking about, all the different clinical tools that the CEG has been sending you. You remember you started off with the Apple tool, the Atrial Fibrillation Programs London. That was the first one that was sent, and then now we've got the CKD community clinics, which is basically the falling EGFR tool, yeah. And then you've got the heart failure, that's the dashboard, that's quite helpful. And then hypoglycemia tool, that's the latest one. Now each one of these is really easy the way it works, yeah. In each one you have a line report. You see, line report, yeah. All you do is just run it at the beginning of each month, and then you export that data. You open your tool, which is an Excel spreadsheet, and import in the file that you just sent out. Yeah, click a couple of buttons. That's all you need, and then you just hand it over to your clinicians. Yeah, whichever whatever specialty they focus on. Yeah, and that's it on that. Yeah. I am available to support you, though, because some people do struggle with getting all that running. So do call me, and I can help you over the phone. Yeah. And then you got the prevalence improvement searches. And these ones are more relevant. Some of these tools are relevant for your service, but I'll cover that in a minute. But then you've also got all your prevalence improvements within the same folder. And as part of your long-term conditions, you have to meet certain prevalences. So, for example, you got the asthma, and there's a set of searches here for the child asthma that will help you with trying to identify some patients to add to that register. Now, one thing to remember with all these searches, yeah, they're only there highlighting patients that could potentially belong in those registers. They're not currently on those registers, but they potentially could belong in those registers. And they're based on searches that are either to do with some sort of case finding or coding. In this case, it's coding. So these children have had some sort of episodes, something like about 4 episodes of wheezing. They've had things like nocturnal cough or eczema and so forth. Yeah. And then some of these have also been coded, further coded as at risk of asthma. So that's the source of patients that you potentially see whether they belong in those registers or not. It could be that not a single one of those belongs in the asthma register. That's a clinical decision, yeah? But they're just highlighting some potential patients for you, yeah? You've got things like the hypertension as well. That's another one that's required for your prevalence and your long-term conditions. And here, it's case finding. So it's giving you a series of patients whose last BP has been, last 3 BPs have been 160 over 100, but not on the register. And then you also got some that whose last 3 BPs are, those sort of ranges plus comorbidities. Yeah. Now, generally, if you look at things like the diabetes, you have other things like some prescribing. So these patients, there's 96 patients on metformin. Generally, you'd expect quite a few of those patients that actually do belong to the diabetes register. Again, they just to highlight this to you, clinicians to make a decision on why are they on metformin, yeah? If they're not on the register. You get similar thing with the COPD, you've got tiotropium, and I've been told that generally you're not going to be on tiotropium unless you're on COPD, yeah? Sorry, that's totally. Yes, sorry. So those are the 3 things: coding, case finding, and medication. So we'll move on from that. You do have some CKD searches here that show you patients whose latest EGFR is 1 to 29, 30 to 45, etc. However, the CKD tool I was alluding to earlier is intended to be used for your long-term conditions metric. Yeah, so which is the evidence of CKD, not or rather coded CKD. Yeah, so if you use the tool, it will identify patients that are more likely to be in the CKD register, because it's looking at patients' EGFR values over the last two 2 years, yeah? And it's looking at the latest one that's happened in the previous month, yeah? And if it's happened in the previous month, then it looks back 2 years and checks if there's a value that's 90 days apart from that value, and if both values are below 59 and 90 days apart, then they're likely to be CKD. So then the clinician does whatever they need to do. They might send them for a further test and then decide whether they belong in the register. However, it's also meant to be used in conjunction with the community CKD clinic at both the hospitals at Barts and the Commission, yeah. So you meant to, anyway, I'm not going to go into the tool too much, yeah.
They're clinical tools, so
yeah,
you know they would be used through your GPs,
but that's the only, yeah, that's the only one that you use in conjunction with consultants at the hospital anyway, yeah. All right, so that will help you with your achieving your prevalences. Now, other things just to mention quickly, as I said, there's some confederation searches in here. There's also some statin searches that will help you. Some of these are draft searches, hospital research, MDTs. The medicines management that I was mentioning, which is analog insulin use and pharmacist medication use. You have some immunizations, cover all these. These are used for the reports that you get, that you receive from us. And then you've got some additional searches, yeah. So we're still talking about the very first folder, yeah. So here I've got some MDA draft searches that if there's any clinicians here, I'd really appreciate if you had a look through this and to give me any feedback if it's picking up patients that are useful to target in terms of treating for the triple targets. Okay, so this gives you missing any of the triple targets, fail the BP target, not on ACE or A or B, or if they fail the cholesterol, you have not a maximum statin dose, or if you have failed HbA1c, then there's a whole series of extra searches that identify different patients, different things, yeah? And then the other thing I've been asked to tell you is about the new cancer patients. You have to do an audit. There's a search there that will help you, so to try and use that.
It's only based on the test request before 2 weeks referral.
2 weeks referral.
Before we do 2 weeks referral, the test we do, radiologist can have to audit those.
I think this is just in cancer patient audits, and I'm not sure exactly what it's asking you for. I'm just pointing out that it's there, and then you'll be asked to use this search when you report on that. But if you're talking about the safety netting,
yeah.
and I'll cover that in a minute, yeah? But that's part of your normal enhanced services. So just minimize that. So that's all that stuff which is on that, yeah? However, the main thing that you probably want to focus is on your enhanced service activity. As you can see, you have all the LTC core and long-term condition searches here, and then you've got other things like phlebotomy, procomlicin, and so forth, yeah? Right up to here, yeah? That last search is an additional thing. We won't go through that one. But if anything, if I wanted to ask you to do anything with this, yeah, to focus on something, is go to your support searches, yeah? Go to your recall folder, yeah? And so we'll just have a quick look. But before we go through that, yeah, I just want to show you the differences. Earlier on, things that you were mentioning, the difference between indicators in the last 12 months. That looks back 12 months from now to whatever 12 months is, yeah? And then indicators in year, those are within the 1st of April 2017 to 31st of March 2018, yeah? So this is this provides you, effectively, it provides you an immediate dashboard for your long-term conditions. Now, one thing to note is that all these searches, both these folders, you need to copy them onto your practice domain so that you can view all the patients, because line reports, you can't view them on CEG because we don't have access to patient identifiable. So if you try to view it there, they won't work, yeah? They come up as failed or something like, let me just show you quickly. Hidden, see? So we can't see any of those, yeah? So you need to copy them over, yeah? So effectively, this is a dashboard, yeah, that's easy for you to view. So you don't have every single one of the metrics in the same way as a monthly dashboard. You can see each one of your metrics, you can see the count of activities that's been done, and you see the percentage, yeah? You also see when it was run. So that percentage you can compare with what your target percentage is, yeah? Although that's just 12 months, it just means how through them in the last 12 months, but this is being measured within a year, yeah? Now, there's a few in here that don't depend on percentage, yeah? And the reason I'm mentioning this is that if you were to click on this, yeah, all your population excluded patients, that's effectively your list of patients that you need to report, yeah? Or that you need to do, you know, are missing some sort of activity. So those are the ones you focus on when you're trying to improve your activity on that, yeah? However, so each one of these, yeah, patients excluded are the ones that you need to do activity on. You do have some information on it, I'll go back to that in a second, yeah? But then you have these ones, MDP referrals, HbA1c. The target is 660. And you can see the percentage there is meaningless, yeah, for this one. That's why there's no percentage here. This search is coming off left and right population, yeah. So if you were to look at your patients excluded, it might have absolutely everybody in the practice, which that's not the eligible population, obviously. There are extra searches on the support searches that will help you with that, but I'll go through the support searches in a second.
Lewis, is that target 660? That's the whole of the.
Yeah, that's the GP compared target.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not individual practice target. Your target might just be, you know, 10 patients or something like that. Yeah. And there's further examples of that further down. Let's see where they're about those. I'll see that. What's the AF? No, it's not the AF. What's the other one?
What you're looking for?
The other targets that cover are there. Social prescribing 1400, and I'm sure there's an extra one, but it's flown out of my head. Yeah. Anyway, so you'll find that you'll see that you know the difference now. Yeah, and then you've also got some information searches. Now these are useful. They have been useful in the past. Yeah. However, this year, the at-risk full annual review, there's no target for that one, yeah? And the diabetes full annual review, there's no target for that. The information bits were to show you where you've done an exam but hadn't completed it, yeah? So the idea really is, although they're not being effectively incentivized, they're in the enhanced service, yeah? And they will be looking at your activity, yeah? But the fact that there's no target, if you achieve 0, you're not going to get penalized for that. However, they'll still be looking at your activity. All right. So that's what those are for. Yeah. Now,
actually, this one will tell us what indicator was missing on this one. So if you see the details of patient probably, you know, HbA1c wasn't complete.
yeah.
Or retina screening wasn't complete. These sort of things will tell.
Yeah, you could do it through here, but it's better to do it through the support searches. However, as I said, it's got non-target, but I'll just focus on a couple of other things that I wanted you to see. Yeah. Can you see that there's a whole series of searches coming up 0? Yeah. We're 4 months, 5 months into the, what is it? 5 months? 6 months, not almost. Yeah.
Almost.
Into the year, and these are all coming up as 0. That's because this is activity measured in the last 6 months of the year. So the metric says under 70 simvastatin, and that's supposed to say atorvastatin, 80 milligrams in the last 6 months. So when you look at it, measured from the 31st of March backwards, it's the 1st of October. So the moment you start getting the 1st of October, you start seeing activity here. Yeah, 6 months. And the other one is the chest mask. Yeah, it doesn't say so there, and this one. Yeah. Now, if you will look at the 12 months, yeah, you can see that the searches are working well. Yeah, and they're showing you how well you're running. Yeah, you see. So most practices are running at a 20% rate. On this one, a lot of practices need a lot more work to do. Yeah, in prescribing patients. Yeah. And that one's okay as well. But you can see the difference if you switch from one to the other, yeah? But, as I said, focus on this one. This is the one that's going to be used for your payment. They measure it at the end of the year, yeah? Right, so that's enough with that, yeah? So I wanted to, so the main thing is patients excluded on that other dashboard, yeah, are the ones that you recall or ones that need activity. However, within the recall, yeah, all these searches, now because that's specifically for recall, you're looking at patients included, yeah? The excluded won't make any sense at all. It is patients included. Under the recall and support searches, patients included. So, as you can see, earlier I was mentioning eligible for NDP, appropriate HbA1c in the last 12 months, yeah? There's a whole lot of patients eligible. That's nationally eligible, yeah? However, the CCG wants you to focus on patients who've had an appropriate HbA1c in the last 3 months. So that's a pre-diabetic HbA1c, which is 42 to 47, yeah? So if in the last 3 months, once they see them, yeah, they see them, I think, what do they call the
Read momentum.
Read momentum. They're the ones that will be, once you refer these patients, so they'll be seen, and they'll be doing an HbA1c on them again, yeah? If the HbA1c is not pre-diabetic, then it's a waste of time for them, yeah? So they'd rather you focus on patients who more recently had an HbA1c that was pre-diabetic, and they're more likely to need that intervention, yeah? Otherwise, I'll be sent home effectively, or back to you, yeah? So do focus on those patients, yeah? However, one thing to note, if you've referred patients to them according to this search as well, yeah? They're still appropriate, they'll be counted towards your achievement target, yeah? Because that's a national, it's a national thing, yeah? The fact that they want to focus on the 3 months is just an extra additional thing in the enhanced service here. However, you still be measured on the other ones. So, all right. So focus on that one first.
On this one, they go. You're talking about to refer to NDPP.
Yeah.
But they have got a range, because if you follow this, they sometimes return the referral because they have got certain range to see the HbA1c. If it is below, they don't accept the referral.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So if they're not pre-diabetic, they'll return them. So you just put it exactly what I'm saying. So make sure that you do the 3 months. Yeah. However, once you refer them, that patient counts towards your metric. Yeah. Even if they
one
get
metric, yeah, I know, but.
Alright, so. Okay, so then you got other things like that at risk of diabetes review. These are your recall lists, yeah. And then you got your triple missing PPs, and so this is a triple targets, yeah. And this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. There's a whole lot of patients missing NDA targets, and this is the main focus. This is why the diabetes review has no target, because they want you to focus on this, achieving the triple targets for all the diabetic patients. Now, one thing to note, the diabetes, the national program, covers type 1 patients as well, yeah? But practically, because these patients are being treated in the hospital, you're not really going to be able to do much about them. And I was talking to Cho earlier, and I'll try and find out exactly what you meant to do there, but as far as I can see, if you have a type 1 patient, then maybe that's a question of you calling the hospital and finding out why is this patient, in target or something. I don't know whether you can do that sort of thing or not. Yeah.
So the NDA target,
yeah.
I thought it was type 2 only.
No, it's include type 1 as well.
It includes everybody, yeah, and that's why you'll see them. When you look at your recall lists, you'll see type 1 as well, yeah. But what I'm saying is that practically you can't really do much about those type 1s. Yeah. So basically, you really need to focus more on trying to achieve the target with your type 2s. Yeah. So just do what you can on those. Yeah. So this is set of searches here, missing 1 or 2 targets, missing 3 targets, and then there's a list report that shows you all your patients missing NDA targets and what they've got and what they haven't got. And I don't know if you remember those old reports where you have an Excel spreadsheet and it's got all your patients, and then you can see activity, and then you see all the gaps. Yeah. So basically, your target in those ones where there's a gap. Yeah.
Is it possible to do a report like this, the way we used to do?
For this, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a line report there.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, as I was saying earlier, I'm just going to skip away from this just for a second. Yeah. Down here on additional, on the very first folder, and 7 additional, there's drug support searches. This is the ones I was mentioning earlier. The ones that say fail with this hash mark, yeah, they're exactly the same as what you just saw on the others, yeah. I've just added the extra bits underneath, yeah, and that's really appreciate some feedback on those. But basically, this has been created so that you can target patients that are low risk, yeah, effectively low risk, but that you might be able to have some easy wins on those, because you might be able to control them more easily. You know, for example, if they're not on maximum statin dose, yeah, increase the dose and perhaps you control their cholesterol, yeah. However, I have to reiterate, I was asked to do this, yeah, which is effectively focusing on low risk patients, yeah. So I'm not asking you to not focus on those ones that might be higher risk, yeah. All right. So that's a clinical issue. All right, but they're there, yeah, if you're struggling to meet your targets, yeah? Anyway, let's go back. Right, so we were on recall, yeah? So now we've got support searches, yeah? So there's a whole suite of support searches for at risk. That you all should be familiar with this. You've been doing it for the last 5 years. If any of you need any further help with that, just give me a call, yeah? I'm not going to go through that. And then you've got diabetes, again, the same thing. This is for annual reviews. Generally, they help you with finding patients so that you can achieve the full review with all the activity, because each one of these reviews had either 12 parameter or 10 parameter or 9 parameter extra activity that would mean that you've done the review correctly. Now you've got heart failure. This is support session where you have heart failure patients that have not been coded with a sided dysfunction.
What to do with this?
You've got your heart failure patients, and in the indicator, if you go back onto the main indicator. Sorry,
the main indicator.
The one for heart failure now. Where is it? Is LVD patients, left ventricular dysfunction patients on maximum tolerated ACE, on maximum tolerated beta blockers, and whatever. Yeah. So the difficulty, of course, is that if you haven't coded your heart failure patients as having left ventricular systolic dysfunction, then this won't show up. So it's very similar to cough, actually, because cough was looking at patients with your heart failure. The thing that you have to be slightly canny about is that, of course, that once you've coded your person as having left ventricular systolic dysfunction, you would then need to make sure that they're on the, which is fair, but make sure that you're on the appropriate beta blockers or ACE inhibitors. Because if you just coded them as heart failure, they won't show up. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yeah? Yes. And the reason I'm kind of flagging that up is actually because if you hadn't coded your patients with left ventricular systolic dysfunction, or you've only coded a few of them, you may well have reached that QOF target because 100% of, whatever got the tablets. But in fact, there might be other number of heart failure patients who haven't been coded. And if they were coded, you'd have to keep an eye on your QOF, because then they might bring down your QOF. population. I don't mind naming that.
So the best thing is to see the discharge letter from hospital that follow this. Is it?
To find out if they're left, yes,
What
I
sort
guess,
of, yeah.
well, I would think that would have been coded, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Right, so the support search basically identifies any patient that's had either left or right, yeah. So where is it? But yes, as Joe said, the LBBS is the one that's for cough, that's one measure for cough. So then you got AF without the chest mask. So they only have chest mask for cough, and for cough I think it's chest mask of value 2.5. Yeah. So you need to code that. Remember, that's on your template. There's a calculator on your template. You just need to enter all the relevant information for that patient and just click, and that's it. Yeah. Then you got smoking cessation. There's a whole list of there's a list report for that. Consent for smoking, especially smoking cessation. Yeah. So this is but you just merely meant to ask the patient whether they'd be okay if it was cold. Yeah.
We usually send the letter to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just send the letter and then code it.
So again, getting back to NDA, there's a whole suite of extra searches in there. Missing NDA targets with, I think that we solved that one. I think we covered those ones. And then achieved NDA, I can't remember what that's for. But then you've got a line report that shows you all that again. Yeah. And then there's a hepatitis. All hepatitis B codes, patients without positive surface antigen code. Yeah. So I'm just going to finish with the
So this
LTC.
hepatitis is not on our dashboard. Why is this one in the support?
It should be.
It is in
Have a look on the
the
indicators.
should be a tumble at the bottom.
Hepatitis B annual review. You haven't got a target
It's on
for that
target,
at the
correct.
moment.
No target.
But what they are saying is that, so for your your hepatitis B, which has got people have got surface antigen positive, that there's a level that primary care could be doing a review on those patients. Yeah, so that's that support search, because the coding around hepatitis B is quite difficult, and so in order to know which ones are still positive to the surface antigen, that's why the support search is there. If that makes sense. So
Right,
there
so-
is, sorry, just to continue with that, when I said the LTC indicators are covered in the LTC review template, at the moment it doesn't cover hepatitis, so
Yeah.
practices would have to use the liver template for recording that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if you haven't activated the liver template, it's time to do it.
It'll be on your list, it's all on your list.
Okay, so long-term conditions, time to talk. Now this one is a very quite a good contract. A lot of practices are doing really well on this because it takes
Yeah.
quite a lot, and
Yeah.
the maximum
Thank you
amount
for
is
that.
quite
Yeah.
high. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of practices that are nowhere near the minimum. Yeah. So if you want to improve your income, then have a look at those. I know it requires extra resources and more time from your clinicians. But have a look, yeah. So when you click on this folder, yeah, the first thing you see is several folders, and then there's a set of searches. These searches will show you what's payment, yeah. It will show you a few extra bits, but there's a payment folder there, and so that you can see your individual activity. This shows all of City and Hackney, yeah. So it will show you how many you have. On your dashboard, it tells you exactly how many you managed to achieve for your minimum, how many you can achieve for your maximum, yeah? And then it also calculates out for you exactly how much you'll be getting paid for that, yeah? So have a look at the dashboards on that, yeah? But the interest, sorry.
I was going to say, are people also aware with the function, the check patient function in the searches? So that you can use check patient in order to identify why somebody is coming up.
Anybody not find that familiar? Check patient?
No, this one thing is really helpful for us, we notice, because our GP appointment 30 minutes anyway. So when they come for review, sometimes they forget to code, that have to talk of it, but this search actually identifies that the patient been seen 30 minutes. So we
Yeah.
just check and then code them because we should code them.
Yes.
It's really good,
So-
I would say.
So that's-
Okay, again,
I was gonna
sorry,
make-
Lewis, just the codes for time to talk are in that LTC template.
Yes.
First page will be the extended one.
Yeah, they just forget.
Yeah, sure,
They
I
just
know,
forget.
absolutely, we're trying every route to.
Yeah,
It's
thank you,
gonna-
Leslie. I like it.
So what I want to say about this one is that you've got two sets of support searches. The first one identifies your recall patients. Patients haven't been seen, you haven't had an excellent consultation. But it also subdivides them into patients for whom you've done a consultation of over 30 minutes. Now, our experience of what we've been talking to practice is that the vast majority of those patients are not extended consultation. Yeah, so depending on that list, you might want to spend a lot of time having a look through those patients to see if any of those were genuine extended consultations and you just miscoded them. Yeah, but you have to be aware that could be that a whole lot of them. Let's say you go through 90 patients, it might be that only one. Yeah, is extended consultation. So this is just for you to use if you need to. Yeah, it does identify some consultations over 30 minutes. Yeah. And it gives you a line report to make it easier for you to print those lists, yeah, with patient names, etc. Now, the second set of searches, yeah, are patients coded with a 2J, which is a multiple long-term condition, comorbidities, I think the code is called, yeah. And that code is like originally was a holding code, but it's generally being used now as to indicate that the patient takes the time to talk to the patient. Yeah, and the usefulness of that code is that there's an associated alert that I created a couple of years ago that will alert you if you got the patient's details up. Yeah, you're an administrator, it will alert you that that patient has not had an extended consultation. So that if you're booking a patient in for something, whatever it is, it might be the opportunity to then find out if an extended consultation can be done on them. Yeah. So you can batch add that code, yeah, using this particular search, yeah. Which one is it?
QJE.
Yeah, all patients code. No, it's not that one. Where is it? Oh, no, so this one. Sorry. So you batch add it to those patients, yeah. And if any of those patients already have the 2J codes, it ignores it and it batch adds it to the.
So the problem is because there is a 2 alert coming up on the co-op alert.
Yeah.
One already saying the patient is time to talk.
Yeah.
And then when we add this code, then there's a 2 alert coming up on the corner. So once the time to talk done, still another alert there.
Are you saying that you need to have an extra alert?
Yeah.
All right, then
Two code
that's
on the
new.
front.
They never used that one. I'll have a look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I'll have a look
Lewis
into
has
that.
another question, sorry.
All right, sorry.
Is depression classed as long-term condition now? So last year it wasn't. So for example, if the patient has got asthma and depression on the cough box indicating, last year this patient wasn't eligible for time to talk, whereas
I can't remember that, but it's a good point because the 2JE code was originally also intended for you to be able to add a patient to the time to talk to qualify, yeah, because there was a suite of registers, the conditions that you could bring them in, yeah, but people pointed out that they were bringing in patients that had, let's say, asthma, and they also had HIV. Yeah, HIV wasn't on the list, and originally osteoporosis wasn't on the list. It is now. But then clinicians were making the decision, this patient has got this and he's got this, they're appropriate for an extended consultation. Yeah. So by all means, if it's not in there, I think it is, but if it's not, then and the patient has another long-term condition, then you can do an extended consultation as long as you add that code into it.
I think Amaya is checking actually what would be seen as applicable for that. I think she's actually trying to clarify it a bit.
Sorry, I'm just amazed that
Oh,
they're
waiting.
in the car. She's come out and she's actually got in the car. I'm amazed.
You know, it is going on in the background. There's a
But
little
just to
going on.
let you know, there is a cap time to talk because there's no point adding too many patients on your register and then you're not get paid for it. So every practice will
But
have
the cap is quite high though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think any practice actually achieved the maximum that she was there. There might have been one. But it was like, if there were any that were close, it was like a handful. Yeah. So the cap is quite high.
I would wait on clarification on that, because I would, yeah.
Because it also got folks will indicate also obesity and sexual health, but these are not long-term conditions. So
I know Amaya was looking into this, so I'm sure there'll be some communication coming out about this actually.
But there was communication about the fact that a clinician can make that clinical assessment, yeah, if they feel that the patient requires it. And I remember, anyway, that was discussed.
But we were told the sickle cell itself qualified for time to talk. Only
yeah,
one sickle cell.
yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, that
yes.
is definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just timing and stuff, what anticipated time are we thinking of?
It's 3 o'clock.
Okay.
I haven't got that many, but yes, I do have a few to do. Yeah, sorry. Let me move on. So I am going to have to skip some of this. This one I shouldn't skip at all. Yeah, because the cancer, generally the cancer searches, when you look at all your indicators, they've all been mixed up a bit, yeah? Before you used to have the bowel screening and you have the safety netting, and it was nicely separated, and now
The guys that you sent out, helped so much.
it's a searches soup, basically. Oh, so the guy that is in the, no, that was a different guy that said it, wasn't it? Yeah. I got a new one here, but I'll talk about something else. But yeah, so you found that useful. Anybody that hasn't got that guide, let me know, yeah?
I didn't see it.
What guide is this, Chris?
You just broke it down into what sections were
Yeah.
what and
Right.
fast tracks at the
Yeah,
bottom.
which sections you should be looking at? For example, this is all telephone sorry. This is activity for patients that are 60 years old, all the way up to almost here. Is that correct?
No,
No.
60s at the top, and then
Yeah,
61
yeah.
to 74 is at the middle bit.
Yeah, middle bit, and then you go back to 60. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll send that guide. It's going to be a lot easier for you because most of you probably can't see it on the back anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. But anyway, the indicators show you clearly what's payment, yeah, and as again in the same vein as the other one, you have a percentage and what you've currently achieved, yeah. So you need to have a look at those, and then for each one of those ones that you have not had a successful call for, yeah, and a successful call, you have to achieve, I think it was 90%.
Yeah.
Send a letter, 94, that should have a percentage on that, yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry, see, a letter to those not called, 90%. Yeah, anyway. Okay, but let me just have a quick look at the support searches. With the support searches, again, we've clarified that and we will get back to it, but just quickly, this gives you some searches that tell you those patients that have not been sent a letter. You can see there, patients that have had unsuccessful calls, or patients where there's been not called. And then there's a whole set of searches where you look back in the last 1 month, yeah? And these are patients that have turned 60. You're meant to look back, run the search, and patients turned 60 in the previous month, so now they're due for you to call them, yeah? And then if you move on from all that, at the bottom, you have what is to be your fast track patients, yeah? So, so you got things that also like you're eligible for time to talk cancer, and yeah, there's a separate dashboard for that, but that's your list that you need to focus on for patients who have not had the extended consultation offered, yeah? Okay, and then you have DNA fast track support searches, fast track referral type not specified. That's very important to specify the referral type and the fast track referral for suspected cancer. Let's see, hold on. It gets a bit confusing down here. Sensitively enough for what seen fast and not coded. Yeah. So every single patient that you refer, you're supposed to indicate whether they've been seen or not. Yeah. So that tells you patients that whether they've been seen or not after follow-up. Yeah. And this one's more important, not coded as seen or DNA. Even I'm getting confused with this. I'll send you I'll resend the guide to everybody. Yeah. But we have promised everybody that we will try and compartmentalize this the way it was before, which was a lot easier to read, yeah, and to, you know. Anyway, so sorry about that, but we will fix it, yeah. From this thing, now I just have a quick word about this one. There's a whole sort of set of support searches, and as you can see, there's a whole series of them labeled as estimated, yeah. Now, the reason why you have to use the dashboard is because the searches don't give you the full picture, because unfortunately, throughout City and Hackney, this is a practice where there's double coding, yeah? Sometimes you get a patient being visited on one day and have it 3 or 4 or 5 visits coded on the same day. Clearly, you didn't visit them 5 times, yeah? But we think this is, I think this is a procedural issue, where you get one administrator to enter some activity, and then later on someone says, oh, has that been entered, and they go back in and enter it again. But do enter it through the template. If you enter it through the template, yeah, when you're going to take that box that says visit done, yeah, on the right you can see whether that was entered on the day that you're going to enter it from, yeah. So do use the template for entry. Don't just code it in, yeah. Because otherwise you end up at this situation. This is why you can't use this, yeah, effectively. But if all practices stop doing that, then this would be fantastic, yeah. It would tell you how many patients with 1 visit, how many with 2, and 1 with extras, yeah. And so all these ones would be really useful. But I just wanted to also mention that to be on the program listening register, you have to have a care plan, yeah, done, yeah. Either done or, well, it has to be a care plan done, but this is also indicating to you which patients haven't had a care plan reviewed in this year, which ones haven't got a care plan done, and so forth, yeah. And you know, all this could be more useful, yeah. But if you're one of those practices that are really good with your coding, use it, yeah. It will give you a good indication, but when you go and compare with your dashboards, you'll see discrepancies, yeah? You might find discrepancies, so don't start calling me up, yeah? That's nice how it is, yeah? Anyway, right, so let's move on. I'm going to skip mental health, yeah?
Mental health is, they've got a lot of searches in mental health, and what we want to do is to make it easier for you, so we're going to just have payment searches in there. And just to flag up very quickly, really, that payment is the depression reviews, but you're going to just need to make sure it's on, I mean, you'll still do depression reviews, but the ones that you'll be paid for are those that weren't seen last year. Yeah, so there's a cohort of patients that weren't seen, because you'll be getting paid for your other depression reviews via QAF. And just to remember that there are just a new, I can't remember how many off the top of my head, but I think there's about 3 things maybe that have to be done on the same day as the depression review. And also for mental health, you also get paid for depot injections, you get paid for patients who are on EPC and who have had reviews done. And lastly, the new thing that's come in is people who are on antipsychotic medication. That will be done in conjunction with the practice pharmacists. Yeah, but we're put, because there's so many searches in mental health, because they're building a huge big dashboard. But don't worry about that, and we'll put payment one day.
Is it for each visit for the depot injection?
It's per patient, I think. So you'd get quarterly £75 per patient who's had a depot injection in the quarter. Yeah. So it's per patient rather than.
Doesn't matter if they are seen weekly.
It
doesn't matter if they are seen weekly.
No, that's right. No, you're not getting £75 per. It's per.
Yes.
What do we need to take for that injection?
I think it's neuroleptic injection given.
Yeah.
I think that's all,
Yeah.
actually.
It's got its own little section on the template, yeah. Okay, so just quickly, there's a recall searches, so you can have a look at those, yeah. Now, I'm going to skip that one, I will come back to it, but I just don't want to miss showing you this, because I'm aware that we're running out of time. Support searches, on your packs, yeah, and there's a whole bit of information on how to code up your wound care. Now, there's been a lot of problems with the wound care, yeah. I think the CEG complex have been up to several practices to recode that because double appointments or single appointments or waiting appointments or inter-practice all been miscoded in some way or another. We've had to rerun the dashboard several times. Now, that guide, I hope, is a definitive guide and will help all of you to know exactly how to code it, yeah. Do make copies for your colleagues, yeah, and show them to whoever's holding up the wound care. Otherwise, this is going to carry on with a problem, yeah. And if we're always estimating the reports at the end of the year, what's going to happen is that you're going to get clawbacks. Nobody likes clawbacks, yeah. So do make sure that you're coding it appropriately, yeah. And the main message is the double appointments, yeah, they're only for, what are they called, perianal abscess or pilonodal sinus post, yeah. All right, you have to code those, yeah. If it's a double appointment, then you indicate 1 or 2, 1 single appointment, 2 double appointments. There's a lot of practices coding 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 15. None of those matter, yeah. We're just taking those as double appointments whenever anybody puts high numbers, but they might not be. You might be indicating that the patients have 15 single appointments, yeah. So remember, at each visit, you code wound care, you code the appointment number, which is either 1 for single or 2 for double, yeah. And if it's for double, then you also need to indicate the reason for the wound care. And if it's one of these pilonodal sinus codes or perianal abscess, then you code those. And if you're not entering a reason for test that it's one of these, then you shouldn't be entering a 2. You should be entering a 1. Yeah. And you can see on the template, it's a nice, easy drop-down list, and so you can see which ones they are. Yeah.
So this presumably is a message for the nurses.
Yeah. So pass on the message.
Yeah. I mean, just pass on that.
Your messages. Yeah. Don't worry, don't share the message. Yeah? Anyway, let's go on. So let's see. Anything else that's quite urgent? Okay. So I'll go back to the end of life. Yeah. Reporting for end of life reporting. Sorry. Yeah. Where's the payment? Payments
there. So the third one. So your second one down, Lewis. If you're looking.
I'm looking at that folder.
Oh, yes, you're in the wrong folder.
Payment.
Yeah.
I think I need glasses or a bit of water. Yeah. Anyway, so you got your current register, anticipatory palliative care register, and then you got what our patients have completed the template. Now, the term completed the template effectively means is that you've gone through the template and you tick all the stuff that's double starred, yeah, for enhanced service, yeah. And if you want to know exactly what that is, yeah, if you look here, it's things like they got to have a care plan, they got to have, you have to record the preferred place of death, preferred place of care, and so forth. Yeah, have a look at the template. It's easier to have a look through there. This gives you all sorts of extra information that you might want to use. Yeah.
Because we've only got a few more minutes.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to rush. Yeah, I want to talk about this one as well. I have to say that hardly any activity is being reported on this one. Yeah. Hardly any practice is doing
This is
latent TB infection. Basically, what you're meant to do is you're meant to eligible population, which is here, support searches. Currently eligible, there's 2 criteria: high incidence TB risk and social risk factors. As you can see, there's a whole lot of patients that you could potentially be targeting. Yeah.
To do what?
For doing EGRA tests, yeah, and if you can't do an EGRA test and you don't have the facilities for that, then you do a NAN2 test, yeah. Now, the CCG is supposed to provide you with the egress test kits, yeah? I think that the T-Spot or the T-Cell, I can't remember which one of the two will change from one to the other, yeah? But you're meant to have those kits if you're going to be doing those tests, yeah? I know that some practices don't do egress tests at all in-house, yeah? So if you can't do those, then perhaps you can do the man-flu tests, yeah? But hardly any activities being done on this. If you look at the dashboards, yeah, there's hardly any practices doing. I think it's only our platforms doing any activity on it.
I
Yeah.
think you need to put out emails telling people to do it, because I didn't actually know about it. It's
Right.
in my search, but I didn't know, so actively act on it.
We used to have a
Yeah.
big problem with people not coming back for the second 1-2 test in
Right.
the allocated amount of time. They'd come for the first one and then not for the
Yeah,
second.
I don't know what's going to happen with the
So-
service, but at the moment it doesn't look very useful for anybody. So
Yeah.
whatever feedback you can give the CCG, I think it'd be useful. Yeah. Okay, I'll move on from that since it's not really achieving anything. Early years, we have finished actually. Is there anything on here that you want me to go through of the ones we haven't gone through? There's early years, there's CMC transfers, NHSL checks, sexual health, alcohol. Yeah, anything? Well, okay, I'm just going to mention the big money stuff then. Yeah, supplementary searches. Yeah, if you do an ICD or implant without the enhanced service code or the contraceptive advice code, that's a large code. There's a lot of that activity being done that's not been completed. Yeah, some of it might have been done elsewhere, but do check through your list. Your list will probably come up with 20 patients or so. Yeah, do check it, and you get paid extra for that. I think it's about 40 pounds. Yeah. However, this one's 173 patients, STIs. You get paid about 160 pounds for each STI. Now, it doesn't mean that those 173 were done at the practice. If they were diagnosed elsewhere, then obviously we don't add the enhanced service code, yeah, or the notification for partner discussion, yeah. But those are the two codes that's missing, yeah. So if you have done it at the practice, then you're missing out on payment by not coding it. So just go in, edit the consultation, and add it if you have done that activity, yeah. Don't claim for anything that you didn't diagnose yourselves. KHAP is even better, yeah. It's 23 patients, each one of those is worth about £270, yeah. All right, so have a look through those. I think that's it. I think we're all fidgeting.